Good evening, everybody. Let's get right down to it. Tonight, we are going to be focused on how to export stems to your mix engineer the correct way. This is something that a lot of people don't know, and I thought I would just bring this up in YouTube because obviously there's a lot of people teaching wrong things out there, and I want to kind of go over why it's so important to send your stems this way. First of all, when you send stems to a mix engineer, what they are doing is they're taking all of those stems, all of those tracks, all of those files, and they're bringing it into their DAW, and they're mixing them down with plugins. They're doing voice automation and volume automation and different things to make this track sound way nicer than what you're giving them to it. What you're doing is you're giving it to them in a raw state. These are all raw files right here. This is a raw mix. This is from the microphone, the beat, and then the vocals, the chorus. Everything is from the microphone. So unless you have like compressors or EQs that are, as a plugin as you're recording, this is going to be raw form. And this is actually raw. There's no plugins. There's no nothing. I'm using a Warm Audio 47 Junior. The thing is that I used to send tracks a different way, and lately I have been sending them this way to my mix engineer, which he thanks me a million times because, as you can see right here, I layer all of my hooks. I layer all of my ad-libs to my hooks. I layer all of my harmonies to my bridges. I also layer all of my ad-libs to my vocals. And then I don't really do much with the ear candy. That's just a one-time thing that you kind of just put into the left or the right pan and just kind of let that ring out. But what I want to do is I want to show you guys how I send my stems. Now, the mix engineer that I send my stems to, he's been in the music industry for over 40 years. He's been mixing records, like he's mixed down big records, and just some of the artists he's worked with in the past. Now, again, 40 years, a lot of people. He's worked with Snoop Dogg. He's worked with Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey, and I could just keep name dropping forever because the guy has a ton of accolades in the music business. What I want to do is I want to show you guys how I send my stems over to him, because there's a certain way to do it, and then there's the right way and the wrong way. Now, a lot of the times people will take and they will send every single one of these stems over, and that is a lot of tracks for someone to have to get and then go in there and make sure that everything is sounding correctly, and panning everything. And you can help your mix engineer so much by going in and panning to the left, panning to the right, panning all of your tracks that need to be panned. As you can see up here, I have everything panned to the left and the right that I want. So my sound, how it's going to come out, and I'm going to play it here in a second, is going to come out how I want to send it to him. So I want you to hear this. This is how I want to send it to him. And then we're going to go over how to actually mix it down. So here's a little taste. Here's another song I'm working on called Wild Horses, another country rap song that will be coming out later on this week, or actually next week, I should say. Here you go. Here's a little teaser. Take it back to the old street. I'm fighting with the dog on my feet. Running free in those country fields. A wild one just keeping it real. I used to play that old guitar. Fell in love with watching the stars. Running free down the country road. Wild horses running through my soul. I like this track a lot. I like how it sounds already, and this is how I want to send it to him. So here's how you do it. So a lot of times, a lot of people will just take and they'll send all these stems. So you come up here, you export stems, you click all tracks, everything is listed here in all tracks, and then you send it. So that's like, what, 30 or so tracks right there. That is the wrong way to do it, and I'm going to tell you why. He's going to have to come in there and he's going to have to pan all of this stuff, and he doesn't know how it's supposed to be sounding. So one of the biggest tips that I can give you right off the bat, and this is going to be a bonus tip. In fact, guys, If you love my content, please subscribe to this channel because I am trying to help each and every one of you guys succeed in the music business, whichever way that you're going. And one of the biggest things is to record a great record, because that is how you get your music out there. So again, what we're going to do here is we're going to show you the right way to send stems. And one of the things is that when people send stems, okay, they send it, it's all dry vocals, of course. They send it with the pan dead in the center, so right here. So everything is like dead in the center. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we have everything sounding correctly, not mixed or anything like that, but everything sounding correctly how we want to send it. And then what we want to do is we want to come up here and we want to make sure that we are bouncing down, okay? We are bouncing down one mix down of the whole entire file so that they have a start off point. So a lot of mix engineers will want just kind of like a rough mix so they know where you're going with the track. Okay, that's very, very important. That is the bonus for this video. I'm going to do it right in the beginning here because there's a lot to teach you about how to send all your stems over to the mix engineer. So what we're going to do is, a few videos back I showed you how to create buses. So we're going to create buses for each one of these tracks, or each one of these vocal packs is what I call them. So here we got the main chorus, and then we have the chorus adds, okay? And as you can see, one is center panned, and the rest are left, right, left, right, left, right. And also right here, you got the bridge. And I don't really have a center pan to the bridge, but I just left, right, left, right, left, right, because again, it's just a harmony. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these vox right here, and we're not gonna touch the center vocal. That's one thing, you don't wanna touch the center vocal when you're doing this. So we're gonna highlight all of these. We're gonna right click, we're gonna add a bus channel, okay? And we're gonna name this bus, and let's click on that so we get rid of that. Let's name this vocals, and actually vocal bus. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to highlight these again, and we're going to come up here, we're going to click on main, and we're going to choose vocal bus. Now when I play this back, you're going to hear that everything is playing out of this bus right here. Check it out. I remember those old dirt roads and old classic songs on the radio. And as you can see it jumping up and down, all it's doing is catching these guys right here, all of the ad libs. So check it out. I remember those old dirt roads and old classic songs on the radio. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to do this to each and every vocal pack that we have. So we have our vocals right here for Vox. So we have these done. So we're going to take these and hide them real quick. Now we have the center in the main chorus. So we're going to take everything but the center. Again, highlight, add bus channel. It's going to come over to the left. We're going to close it. We're going to put chorus main. And we got the chorus main. Let's do the chorus adds. So we're going to take everything but the center channel. Chorus adds. Add a bus channel over here. I don't know why that keeps opening up. It's kind of annoying. Let's see. Then we're going to do chorus adds. Okay, so we got the vocals. We got the chorus. We can shut that now. We got the chorus. All right, and if you're not familiar with how I'm doing that, how I'm shutting everything from here and it's opening up down here, it's just this little setting right here. Link expansion and visibility of folder tracks. Make sure you have that clicked on, and then that will work for you right there. I've done that in a couple other videos, but I always like to show that just in case you missed it. Okay, and then we have the bridge, and we're going to send all of these over. We don't need a center on this one, okay, because this is just a harmony now. We're going to add another bus over here, and we're going to add the bridge harmonies, okay? So now we have vocal bus, chorus main, chorus adds, and the bridge. And we can shut this now. And then we don't need to do nothing with talk track, because talk track, again, is just one of those ones that we're sending out on its own. And actually want to make sure that that volume is to the zeros. So I think we have everything here that we need to set up these 4 buses right here are going to be our main 4 buses, and they are all with the left-right pans. So all of this is left-right pans. None of this is center vocal. We'll come up here to song. We're going to go to export stems. Again, guys, make sure you're going to have this probably checked off. And what happens is when you start sending your stems over to a mix engineer, this is going to be stereo files. All of them will be stereo files. So they'll actually have to come in and actually change all of these back to mono from stereo. You don't want to have them do that. Any extra work that you're having them do, they're going to charge you extra for if you don't know them personally. So always check this box right here, keep speaker format. And then you can see it goes from mono to stereo, back to mono. All these become mono. Now, this is tracks. We want to choose channels over here. So we're going to choose channels. And then we want all the beats, of course, because those are all in stereo. And we need the beat to go with the stuff. But then what we're going to do is we're going to uncheck all these Vox adds right here. Okay? All we want is the Vox center. We want the ear candy. Then we want the chorus center, and we're going to uncheck all of these. You can actually just drag down with your mouse, and you can just uncheck all of those. And then, of course, the chorus adds, we're going to leave that one. And we're going to uncheck all of these. And then we're going to also uncheck all of the bridges. Now, why are we doing this? Well, first of all, we already made buses over here. So at the very bottom of this, you're going to see the 4 buses that we made right here. The vocal bus, the chorus main, the chorus adds, and the bridge. So make sure that those are checked. And then what we're going to do is it says between loop. We have our loop already set. So make sure that you have that loop set right there. And you can turn on the loop right here at this button right here on the bottom, right next to the record button. And then what we want to do is we don't want to have a file name premix, because then every single file is going to have all of that stuff on there. And then it's going to say bridge and vocals and all that stuff. So we want to make sure to remove that. Let's take and change this over to, I'm just going to make a new folder right here called test folder for mixes. And I'll just put Wild Horses. That is the song we are working on. I'll create that. All right, test folder for mixes. We're going to open that up. So now all of these files should go into there. And let's see, we have everything correct. Keep speaker format, 24-bit, 48K. We want to make sure that when we're bouncing these down that we have the resolution that we made the file in. So our resolution could be 16-bit, but that's at master. So we want to keep it at 24-bit. And your sample rate, these are all 48K files. We want to keep them at 48K files. We're going to hit OK. And you see how quick this is, guys?
Take me back to the old creek, bonfires with the dog at my feet, running free in those country fields, a wild one just keeping it real. I used to play that old guitar.